Rome, 218 BC. The city was not burning, but it felt like it was. Hannibal Barca, the greatest enemy Rome had ever faced, had crossed the Alps with 50,000 soldiers and war elephants. He had already destroyed 2 Roman armies, entire legions, gone. The Senate was in chaos. Generals were panicking. Citizens were fleeing. Everyone was screaming, "Attack now! Send more troops! Do something! Do anything!" Everyone except one man, Quintus Fabius Maximus. He sat in the Senate chamber while everyone around him was losing their minds. And he was completely still, calm in a way that made people uncomfortable, almost suspicious. A senator slammed his fist on the table. "Hannibal is burning our fields. He's destroying our allies. Every day we wait, we lose more." Fabius looked at him slowly and said, "And every day he waits, he loses more too." The Senate couldn't understand it, neither could anyone else. But with Rome on the edge of collapse, they gave him absolute power and prayed he knew something they didn't. And his very first decision was, do nothing. Not nothing exactly. Fabius had looked at the situation with a calm mind and seen something everyone else had missed. Hannibal was deep in enemy territory, far from home, far from supplies, far from reinforcements. Hannibal won every battle, but every battle he fought, he lost men he could never replace. Fabius understood something most people don't. Stress makes every problem feel urgent, but urgent action on the wrong problem is just faster failure. So while Rome screamed for blood, Fabius walked his army through the hills, shadowing Hannibal, cutting off his supply lines, picking off small groups, never engaging directly, never rushing. Rome hated him for it. They called him the delayer. It wasn't a compliment. His own soldiers mocked him. His political enemies called him a coward. One of his own lieutenants, Minucius, delivered a speech in the Senate accusing Fabius of being afraid. The crowd cheered. The Senate took half his power and gave it to Minucius, who immediately did what everyone wanted. He attacked Hannibal directly. He nearly got his entire army destroyed in a single afternoon. Fabius, calmly, without saying "I told you so," marched his men down from the hills and saved Minucius from complete annihilation. Minucius walked up to Fabius afterward. He couldn't look him in the eye. He said quietly, "You saved us, after everything we said about you." Fabius put a hand on his shoulder. Rome needs soldiers. But here is where the story gets complicated. Rome stopped listening to Fabius. The people wanted action. The Senate wanted glory. The new consuls, Varro and Paulus, were elected on one promise: we will destroy Hannibal. Fabius warned them, don't fight him on flat ground. Don't let him choose the battlefield. Don't let urgency replace strategy. They smiled politely and ignored him. At a place called Cannae, the 2 consuls marched 70,000 Roman soldiers onto flat, open ground, exactly where Hannibal wanted them. In a single afternoon, 60,000 Romans died. It remains one of the worst military defeats in human history. The consul who survived, Varro, reportedly said afterward that he was ashamed to still be alive. Rome was broken, not just in numbers, in spirit. And in that moment of absolute rock bottom, the Senate did something remarkable. They called Fabius back. Not with fanfare, not with apology. They called him back desperately. And Fabius came. No anger, no bitterness, no "I told you so." He sat down, breathed, looked at the situation clearly, and began carefully, without panic. He retrained soldiers, he rebuilt alliances, he restored supply lines. He kept doing what he had always done, moving carefully, thinking clearly, refusing to let the urgency of the moment override the intelligence of the solution. Year by year, Rome recovered, not because they fought harder, because one man refused to think in panic. Hannibal eventually left Rome, not defeated in battle, just slowly starved of everything he needed, because one calm Roman general had understood something that took Rome years to accept. The problem was never Hannibal's strength. The problem was Rome's fear. Fear that turned every challenge into a crisis. Every setback became a catastrophe. Every moment of difficulty becomes a reason to abandon clear thinking and just react. Fabius died an old man, respected eventually, quietly celebrated. History gave him back his name, not the delayer anymore. Fabius Maximus, the shield of Rome. The lesson Fabius left behind wasn't really about war. It was about something every single person deals with every single day. Stress is a liar. It walks into your mind and tells you everything is urgent, everything is falling apart. You have to act right now or it will be too late. And in that panic state, you make the same mistake Rome made at Cannae. You walk straight into the trap. The calm mind sees what the stressed mind cannot. Not every situation needs to be fought today. Some problems shrink on their own if you stop feeding them your energy. The most powerful thing you can do in a crisis is take a deep breath and think. Hannibal didn't defeat Rome with elephants, tactics, or superior numbers. He defeated Rome by causing panic. The moment Rome stopped panicking, Hannibal had already lost. Next time, when stress tells you it's urgent, remember Fabius. Take a deep breath. The calm mind always finds the way. If you find the story interesting, like, subscribe, and share.